Hi, everyone. Welcome to my office and actually my bedroom, my kitchen, everywhere in my house is my office. It is great to see you. It is great to hear your amazing thoughts that you've been sharing. Your honesty has been quite interesting to listen to. So, before we move on with our class and get into using our new technology tools in our lessons and start applying what we're learning, we need to stop, take a breath, and see what we've already been working on. There's been a lot of thoughts that have been shared. There's been a lot of websites, a lot of lesson ideas, a lot of discussions that have kind of taken on a life of their own, which is a wonderful thing that I wasn't sure how the forums were going to go. Sometimes when you get online courses, you get some people who just come in, do the job, and they're done. But it seems that everybody in here truly wants to gain something from everybody that they can, and that is absolutely wonderful. In our class, we have regular teachers, classroom teachers. We have young first, second grade teachers. We have high school teachers in various disciplines. We have art teachers. We have a few librarians. We have college teachers. We have ESL teachers, couple adult education teachers. And next thing that I would like to do is take a breath and talk about what we've already learned. So, moving backwards, starting with this past week and going backwards, I gave you a list of words that you needed to know. And although they're not commonly used words in your field, in your current daily teaching life, they're words that are common in the technology world. They're words that if you go to a training, if you go to a conference, if you talk to a technology geek, they're going to use these words, and you need to know what the words are to understand the conversation a little bit better. Through those words, I have asked you to talk with other colleagues. Some of you have talked with your administrators, with your tech specialists, and I give you a lot of credit for doing that because I'd imagine it may have poked and prodded some things in some of your higher ups. Your terminology, the way that you have expressed yourself has been wonderful. So let's go through those words. I'm going to go through them pretty quick because your explanations and all of your assignments were spot on. Everything about them was clear. So I have a list next to me, so I apologize if I keep looking away, but I want to make sure that I'm going through the words. We talked about digital devices. Those are your computers, your mobile devices, your phones, your tablets. Open source. Open source is probably not used as much anymore. That is going to be your free software that's probably not as good as some other softwares that you used. We had Open Office in my county when they were trying to save money, and that was the equivalent of Word, or so they thought. Open Office had the skeleton of Word, but there was no pictures. So when you take fourth and fifth graders into the computer lab and say to insert an image, you now have to go online, find the picture that you need, save it, and upload it. It was not a good investment for our county. We talked about cloud technology. That's going to be anything Google Cloud. The iCloud is a huge one, and a lot of you are using that. Our county uses Google as well as OneDrive, both cloud technologies. Collaboration is more of a generic term, but it gets pulled into technology. And we're going to get into a little bit more with that, but that's just working with other people. So I can work with you sitting in the room. I can work with you right here talking through a video. I can work with you through a forum post. It's just how am I working with you to achieve a goal? Learning management systems. A lot of schools use them. Blackboard is a huge one. I think Schoolology was another one that was mentioned. There was a few others, and I believe if you go back to the course and look in week 1 in the chart, when I compiled all of the resources that you shared, that's where you're going to see a list of the learning management systems. So if you have a question, post it out there. If there's something that you're starting to learn about a learning management system, go ahead and just make a post and say, I need help with X. I need help learning how to use Schoolology. Who's using Schoolology? Feel free to add a little bit more to the form to gain information. We have 23, there's 22 students and myself who want to learn more about technology. I'm learning a lot from you as well. Use your resources. We are all here in the same boat. ISTE standards. A lot of you or unaware of what they are, but they're they're technology standards. And a lot of counties are trying to find ways to integrate the technology standards into the state standards. If you were to look up Fairfax County, they're trying to create lesson plans so that you have your all of your standards that you have to do, and with each standard they're trying to pull in a lesson to match that has technology in it. Digital citizenship, how to use technology appropriately. I would imagine anybody out there who deals with teenagers, who has their own teenagers, has encountered, no, you shouldn't post this picture, or here's what those words can come back to do to you. College students may be going through this as they prepare for interviews for the real world. Facilitator, that's me. A facilitator is simply a teacher who is posing questions, is giving ideas, but I'm not leading 100% of the question. I'm guiding the question, and I'm allowing you to take it where it needs to go. A webinar, there you go. I'm doing a webinar. I'm giving you a lecture, and you're coming here and you're learning. You may have webinars with websites where you'll have a voice recorded, and it will take you through a tour of a website. Productivity tools, all your office tools, all your, if I cannot, right now I'm on a Mac computer, so Pages is a productivity tool, PowerPoint, Word, all those. Personalized learning, anybody out there who uses anything with an IEP, there's your personalized learning. But now if I call it personalized learning with technology, I'm giving you a specific website in order to create a more effective lesson for you. I'm giving you a device. Maybe I'm giving you a larger keyboard. That's all personalized learning is with technology. Technology integration, that's what we're working on. How do I effectively add technology into a lesson so the content is at the forefront, not the tool that I'm using? Drill and kill websites. This was an interesting one because there's value to drill and kill websites. Somebody brought up, and I apologize for not remembering which name it was, but one of you brought up how you use it, and you actually said that you were embarrassed, and I hate that. I don't like that you're embarrassed that you're using a tool that is effective. For years and years and years, teaching has revolved around practice. Practice can be on a chalkboard, on a slate board, on a whiteboard, on worksheets. Now it can be on a computer using drill and kill worksheets. What I personally suggest using that 45 minutes every week in the lab? No. Frankly, it's boring and there's better ways to use a computer lab, but there is value to it when used appropriately. Face-to-face learning, definitely not what we're doing now. Face-to-face learning means that we're sitting in the same room. That's all it means. One-to-one initiative just means that I want to put a tool, I want to put a device in each one of my students' hands. So there is the words. We also spoke of the ISTE standards. Many of you brought up a very valid point saying that you already do these things in your classroom. And gosh, I hope you do. You've got the empowered learner. So instead of empowering them, believing that they can accomplish anything they want, now we're empowering them with a piece of technology in their hand. The digital citizen, we've already spoken of that. Knowledge constructor, innovative designer, computational thinker, creative communicator, and global collaborator. These are all things that you do, but now we're throwing a piece of technology. Now this current week, we're going to be adding something called the 4 C's, and that's supposed to be geared for the 21st century learner. Collaboration, critical thinking, communication, and creativity. So that's going to be the focus. There's going to be an assignment that will combine last week and this week so that you will have an assignment as well as a forum post. All right, so this week we're going to focus on the 4 C's and the 21st century learner. So there's 4 C's that the 21st century learner focuses on. First one is communication. Communication years ago was within your community, was through a phone line. Now communication is through so many different things. Am I posting on social media? Am I posting in a forum? Am I having a video conference with somebody in Australia? How am I communicating with people? In my school, am I communicating with other classmates, with other classes? Am I communicating with a neighboring school? Who am I communicating with? And how am I sharing my ideas, my questions, my thoughts? Critical thinking is another big one that really needs to be a big push. Instead of us, the educators, giving our students all of the steps and saying, here's the recipe for how you're going to complete this project, we're going to give them a goal and we're going to say, well, now let's analyze what are we going to do to solve this goal. When you pull up the slideshow that goes with all these videos, you're going to see that there's a picture that says, I think, therefore, I'm dangerous. Now, I would imagine for the teachers that are taking this course, we're not going to be as dangerous because we're welcoming the change. You take a traditional teacher who does not know a lot about technology, who is apprehensive about technology, who is nervous about letting go of control in her class or his class because their students know more about technology. Is that dangerous? Is that safe? If I let go of that control and give my students the power for critical thinking, what will they come up with? That leads us to collaboration, working together. We already know what the word collaboration means in technology. Now let's think, who can I collaborate with? Can I collaborate with people with like-minded things like me? When I make my groups as a teacher, should I pull students that have heterogeneous learning styles or homogeneous learning styles? Should I pull in an artist, a researcher, a writer, put them in a group and see what they come up with? Should I collaborate with another class in my building, another school in my county? Should I just go online on Twitter and say, I need to collaborate with a class that has this, and just find someone in a different country, a different state, a different city? Finally, the last C is creativity. Don't give your students the path. I remember reading about projects, how classroom projects, the teachers give them the recipe instead of letting the child decide what was going to happen. They say, step 1, we want you to do it this way. Step 2, do it this way. Step 3, do it this way. What if you tried not giving them the steps? What if you say, here's the general goal. Here's a general path we need you to stay on. Here are all the tools that you can use. Here's the goal that you're going to accomplish. How are you going to get there? What kind of tools are you going to get there? You'll see that when you open up the slide that goes with all these videos is a picture of a bicycle. It's not a typical bicycle though. It's pulled in different pieces of different things. All right, so now we head into the week 4 assignment. And instead of writing a whole big explanation, I figure I might as well keep on talking to you. So you did not have an assignment with week 3. You only had to watch the videos for the ISTE standards and then write a forum post connecting the ISTE standards to your standards. Now we're going to connect the ISTE standards, the 4 C's, and your lessons. Think, oh gosh, a lesson plan. I promise you, I will use your time effectively. The one thing that you will find is I'm not going to have you create projects that are meaningless. I want to make sure that what you're creating for this class is something you can use in your class if you choose to create your lesson that way. So yes, you are going to be making a lesson plan, but I do not want a full-on lesson plan. I am looking for 4 pieces. And when you open up the slideshow and you open up the assignment, you're going to see a description of all 4 pieces. There is a template that is in Microsoft Word that you can open up and type in there. If you pull that into, if you have a Mac computer, when you open up in Pages, it will automatically convert it. So you don't have to worry about the file not opening. If you run into issues, please let me know. Email me so I can figure out how to make it work for you. Your lesson plan is going to be, choose a lesson that you have in the future. It could be one that you have this week, one that you have next week, one that you have in 3 months. Maybe you're thinking of a unit that you're doing that has been the same for the past couple of years and now it's time to change it. That's what you want to do. Think of one lesson, one 45-minute lesson that you do in your class. You're going to open the template. The rule is I need an explanation so I understand what the process of your lesson is. It can be written in a paragraph. It can be written in steps. You need to include some kind of technology. What piece of technology? What type of technology? Is it a tool that you're using? Is it a website? Are they going to take their phones, go outside, take some pictures, include those pictures in there? Are you going to import the pictures into a PowerPoint? Are you going to make videos? Is there a website that you know of that adds more to your lesson that is already doing? Now, the key to this lesson, though, is I want to know what ISTE standards and which of the 4 C's are incorporated into your lesson. I need an explanation, a paragraph. So that will be week 4. If you run into any issues, if you just want to clarify what you need to do, please email me. I do my best to check email daily. As I said in an email in the last couple days, starting this coming week, the classes will be posted by Wednesday. They will be open for you because it's going to get a little bit hairy in all of our schools between conferences, report cards, and all of the holiday excitement coming up. I need to make sure you have the time to work with this class the way that you are and maintain your current job that you need to do. So that's it for now. Have a great week, everybody.